Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. This is the Fallout. Decided to do it live. I wanted to chat to you guys. We haven't done it for a while, and someone in my Discord said, forgive me, I can't remember your name, bud, said we should be doing this. So we did it a few months ago, wanted to do it again. So we've got fans of a few of the clubs that I wanted to talk about. If this goes well and we enjoy it, then we can do it again in a couple of weeks, maybe with some of the other teams. But we can talk about some of the tactical elements of the games as well. Obviously, there's 20 teams in the league, so we can't talk about everyone every single time. But I just wanted to sort of give it a go again and talk to you guys again properly because... just quickly, I did a video yesterday, and there was just a few people that were just a little bit disappointing in the comments. Like, we've built something really, really awesome here, and there's going to be like people that just come in and be flippant because they're probably not used to this community. But I'm really, really keen to sort of safeguard this because I think it's been a place where people can actually have a proper discussion. So what I will say is, in the chat or in the comments or wherever you want to have that discussion, please do it in a way that's just got an element of respect. If you don't want to do that, honestly, I will get rid of you really, really quickly because there's like 2 buttons I can press and you're gone. And I don't want to do that to anyone at all. But I do just want to say that because I've seen it creeping in and it's a little bit disappointing. And this is just this is my favourite place to be. Is chatting to you on this channel. So I don't want that to stop. Look, massively disagree. I'm totally fine with that. But let's just do it in the right way. Do you know what I mean? Because there's enough of that nonsense on YouTube. This isn't that place. So if you're into that stuff, you want to just like go after each other, it's just a bit grim and it's just boring. It's boring. It's super boring. So this isn't the channel for you. So feel free to leave now. Right, we are going to talk about a lot of games. Because I want to talk about Chelsea, Burnley, Everton, Man United, Arsenal and Liverpool. We've got a fan from each team. And guys, if you want to make some friends with people that are in that similar kind of vibe and vein, then get involved. Link is in the description to my Discord server, the Allcott Ultras. 1,000 people in that server actually by now. And it's a good place to chat and do all bits and pieces. So get involved with that. Right, let's not mess about. Let's have a look at the table because there is a lot to get through here. I'm going to go to Chelsea first of all. That's not the table. That's Arsenal's fixtures. Is your season over? That's one thing I do want to ask some of you guys. And also, if we've got a bit of time at the end, we can talk about your team. I want you guys to get involved in the comments, so make sure you do. Any like super chats and stuff like that, I will definitely answer them all. I don't know how long this video is going to go on for, but we're going to enjoy ourselves. Right, so strap yourselves in. First thing I want to go to is Chelsea. And for Chelsea, we have Ryan. I think Ryan's going to come in. So Ryan, whenever you're ready, come into the phone-in studio. Oh, yes. He'll make his way in, I'm sure, soon enough. And he'll unmute himself. He'll also mute the stream. And we'll talk about them. Because they have a massive game this week against Real Madrid. Ryan joins me now. And welcome, Ryan. How you doing, mate?
I'm a lot better after the weekend.
I bet you bloody are. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that when I saw that at halftime. I always, I'll be honest. I always prefer it if Chelsea lose and QPR win because we've got a song about it. But it was a great performance, wasn't it? It was a really good 6-0 win. That's a good way to bounce back. Did you expect that? And also, did you expect the personnel that played? Because do you think that puts any doubt or new questions into Thomas Tuchel's mind when he addresses this Real Madrid game? Because that's essentially it now for you. You should finish third, shouldn't you? And all being well, and the Champions League is the one that you've got to focus on, right? So how did you feel about the game? Did people like Timo Werner or Loftus-Cheek or anyone like that, put themselves in your mind?
I mean, when I saw the lineup, I thought we were going to lose 6-0. Things like Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing well at right back, Timo Werner playing. I think Timo Werner was very unlucky not to get about 4 or 5 goals with how he played and some of the chances that he missed, but that's like him, really.
Yeah, massively.
I think the priority should definitely be tomorrow against Real Madrid. If some of the players have staked their claim for the starting 11, I think the main one would be Timo Werner or Marcus Alonso. If you have Werner playing like he did with Havertz, you don't know what could happen. He did really well against Madrid last year in the semi-final.
Yeah, no, he did. Look, so the big one for me, because it is all about Real Madrid, First of all, you're right. The dominance in this game was absolutely outrageous. You can see it from the momentum bar. And also, when you're talking about Timo Werner, I thought that was really interesting. For those of you who didn't see the game, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, a bit like Saul Niguez earlier in the season, who played on the left-hand side as a left wing-back. But we spoke about this on the Fallout a little while ago. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's got the ability actually to play in that position, especially as someone who ends up being a bit of a midfielder. So he stepped in for Reece James. Obviously, Reece James, he's fit and available, so he came on in this game. So he'll inevitably start in this one. But the Timo Werner element of it, I think, is really interesting. There's two bits in particular that I thought were really interesting from this game. Timo Werner and the use of Mason Mount. Now, Ryan, I want to hear your thoughts on Mason Mount in just a second, but let me just explain this. Because you're right, Timo Werner was able to do so much, but also, I know Southampton can play very, very narrow a lot of the time, but often you expect a bit more from what they did here. But they had two in midfield, and what they did, Chelsea, they played Havertz and Werner together. And it worked really, really well in terms of stretching the play. And Havertz was able to get on the ball a little bit more. So if you wanted it to play it to feet or have someone to sort of play with Mount, not like that. That was available. But Mason Mount played as a number 10. And I thought that was really interesting. In the second half of the game against Real Madrid, you played as a back four. I don't think that's the right way to go. And I didn't think that was the right way to go at the time. But then Mendy does what he does and the game feels like it's lost. I actually think you should have stuck with what you had there, which was a 3 and playing those wing backs. Alonso bombing on. But I wonder if there's something to be had about playing this 3 again, Ryan. Because Mason Mount was absolutely fantastic in this game. And him playing in that midfield 3, you get the energy from him. But I actually think Mason Mount needs to be the main man for you guys. And I think sometimes he kind of plays out on the right for the team or works in different spaces for the team. And he always delivers in terms of goal contributions and stuff like that. But do you think this is something he should do? Do you think he should go Havertz, Werner and Mason Mount in that 10 role for the Real Madrid game?
Yeah, I definitely think so. The 3 at the back is what normally works for us. The 4 usually is just terrible. And Mason Mount, in that 10 role, you're sort of having the squad go around him, which is good, which means he can sort of play balls. He's really good at driving forward with it and linking up play, which I think you saw really well for the first goal, where the ball gets played into him and he just plays it off to Marcus Alonso, who finishes it.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think, got the goal himself. But also, when you think of how Real Madrid are going to play, I think they'll defend quite deep. I'm going to draw loads of circles here, guys. Imagine this is Real Madrid's setup. They're going to play with their back 4. They're going to have Vinicius Jr. up here trying to get in behind. Benzema in this area here. And the midfield 3 in the first game actually played quite wide at times, but it was because Chelsea wanted to play down those sides as well. And I just wonder if you kind of create that space from having Alonso and Reece James out wide. And Reece James can get into this area here, if I draw a square, hopefully that makes sense. So he can offer up a little bit more. But to let Mason Mount maybe go up against Casemiro, because they might not be expecting this style of play. The only problem you've got is the sort of tight turnaround in games. So you wonder if that could make a difference. I think someone in the chat, it's Joe Duffield, Kovacic was the difference for me. Southampton couldn't handle him. Kovacic, I think, is crucial in this as well, because Kante really struggled. Have I read that that's something to do with Ramadan? Do you know, Ryan?
I'm not too... Yeah, I remember seeing something about it, but I know that Kovacic, I know that he definitely should have started last week, and there was a big sort of uproar about that. And he's definitely crucial in our midfield. I think, especially tomorrow, we should maybe go Jorginho Kovacic as opposed to maybe Kante Kovacic, and then let Mason Mount play in that 10 role, so they can also... It lets Kovacic and Mount sort of do more driving forward. Yeah,
go 3 against 3, because that's the thing I keep coming back to, and I'll get hammered for it, understandably so, because I would expect Real Madrid to still make it through because of the experience, the quality they've got. Modric didn't play at the weekend as well, which I think is really important. But I do just always feel like they are. This sounds so dangerous to say it, but they're like they're a 3-man team. I shouldn't say it. I know I shouldn't say it. I'm going to get hammered for that. But I do think it's about Vinicius Jr., it's about Benzema, and it's about Modric. Cruz will sit there, be tidy. Casemiro is a solid player. They're also missing Militao, who's suspended in this game. And you did have chances in that game. You've got a chance. 20 shots you had. 20 shots in the game. Lukaku has a couple of headers as well. He's going to be missing for this one, which I don't think is too much of a loss. Give me your prediction for the Chelsea Real Madrid game then, mate.
I've seen a lot of people saying that we're going to go through, but I don't see it personally. We've had it in like the last couple of months where the performances have been there, but we haven't managed to get the goals. And I feel like if we're going to beat them tomorrow and if we're going to go through to the semi-final, what we need a goal early to unsettle them. We can't let them settle into the game and find a rhythm like they did last week. You saw it where first like 10, 15 minutes, Chelsea were dominant. We were creating chances. And then after that, Real Madrid sort of settled into the game and managed to find their goals.
Yeah, they did, and it was. I'm not doubting there isn't quality there. I think it's what I'm more getting on is with the ball, sort of dominance with the ball. Because Pele says in the chat here, Casemiro, Alaba, Courtois, all brilliant. Agreed, totally agree with that. But in terms of sort of hurting the opposition, I do think it is about Modric, Benzema, and you can see it from their average positions in this game. You know, it is about those two. And the goals, you know, that first goal, that's why I went after Thiago Silva a little bit. Because once Vinicius Jr. makes that run, there is only one person that's ever going to touch the ball, and it's going to be Benzema, because you don't really have, especially when you're playing on the counter-attack, don't have other players that are going to get on the ball. So I just think those are the three that could hurt them, but it's an amazing three that could hurt you. I think the problem is playing away from home. I think it's going to be a little bit too much. It'd be a massive turnaround if you could do it. And Christensen struggled with Vinicius Jr., didn't he, as well? Be interesting to see if he plays him. I wonder if he puts Cesar Azpilicueta over on that right-hand side and could even play Reece James as a right-sided centre-back, because he did that really, really well, didn't he, last year? I guess Reece James is just a little bit too good to be playing in that position now. Do you think, Ryan?
Yeah. An outside field chat, I think Trevor Chalobah should play tomorrow. I think he'd deal with it really well. Christensen struggled because there was so much sort of space in behind him. Yeah. And I think Chalobah's that little bit quicker than Christensen, to the point where he could maybe like get there and make some interceptions and not try and stop Vinicius. I don't know if he quite has the quality for that, but sort of halt him a little bit.
Yeah, love that, Ryan. Mate, lovely to chat to you, mate. Yeah, give me a prediction on that game again. What's the score going to be?
I reckon it'll be 1-0 Madrid and they'll go through, unfortunately.
1-0 Madrid, so you're going to lose both of them. All right, mate. Hopefully we speak again soon. Appreciate it, mate.
Okay, thanks.
Nice to chat. Good man. Right, let's move on. We move on to the relegation battle. I want to talk to a Burnley fan. I want to talk to Ben Livingston. Ben, join me now, because they played Norwich at the weekend. It was bizarre, wasn't it? Because Everton played... Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Oh, you're right.
Hello, mate. So... just mute the stream, mate. So Burnley played Norwich. Really, really disappointing result for them. They should have done so much better in this game. They seemed a little bit lethargic, I thought, at times. And I thought that they struggled with how Norwich played. Norwich set up really, really well. And we can look from the average positions here that they didn't really get to grips with them. They actually went for it a little bit more, Norwich. I think we all forget about Norwich in this game because, you know, they're so cut adrift. But actually... they played with a proper front three, and Pukki wasn't isolated for once. It's very rare that he's not isolated. Matthias Norman as well, lovely. I think it was him with the pass for Pukki for the second goal. But Maxwell Cornet missed an absolute sitter for him. I've got a stat on Maxwell Cornet. I think it's really good because he's had a really good season, Cornet. Tell me about Cornet first then, Ben. How do you feel about him and his season? He's been one of the bright sparks, right?
Well, without him, I think we'd be bottom at the table for a start. But you have to mention that from January, after he came back from AFCON, until last week against Everton, he's absolutely done nothing. He's done nothing.
He did
what? 3 months.
Oh right, but the Everton game he did well for you, no?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Since
sorry.
Before that,
right, he was struggling. Okay,
but,
because he's got 7 goals from only 3.3 xG. So the big talking point for anyone who missed the game was, the big moment was it was 1-0. Burnley was sort of trying to get themselves back into the game. I thought Burnley struggled in terms of the quality throughout the game, because this Norwich side, yes, they've got 2 big centre-backs in Hanley and Gibson, but I still think what Burnley's greatest asset is often, Weghorst in the box, Rodriguez in the box, who, give absolutely everything and have got quality on the ball as well, but getting quality crosses into them. If we have a look at the stats here, I did have a little look at it, because they had 36 crosses and only 8 of them were accurate, 22%. I think they needed to be a little bit better than that in this game. And Norwich did all right, didn't they? They weren't undeserving of the victory, were they?
Yeah, they deserve to win, but I think it's a bit of a myth this about Weghorst. I know he's 6'6", but I mean, lost header to Jack Grealish the other week, and I mean,
That's
I bet
one.
he
That's
could
one header
start.
though. But if he's 6'6", you're saying he shouldn't be good in the air.
He generally he loses headers every game. He loses more headers than he wins.
Okay. Well, great touch for a big lad. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see his stats on. Is it SofaScore you're on?
Yeah, I could probably have a look on. Well, we don't talk about the app because they're not paying me yet. But when they do pay me, they will talk about it later on the unnamed app. Yeah, let's have a look at Weghorst then. This is good. This is good.
I think Jay Rodriguez has been better than him recently. I mean,
I'm not doubting that. I think he was better in that game. He was miles better than him. Aerial duels, 1 3 of 5. So yeah, I mean, he's still more than 50%. But should he be sort of if you've got a guy 6'6", should he be, involved in more than 5 aerial duels?
That's
probably,
what I mean.
Probably should, right?
I said this a few weeks ago. I think he's been trying to play like a Harry Kane role, but for Burnley. And you look at Harry Kane, he's got Kulusevski and Son, where we've got Aaron Lennon and Dwight McNeil. So yeah, he's a very good striker, but not in our team.
Yeah, you play sort of quite narrow at times, and then the width comes from Charlie Taylor, who having watched the last 2 games, I'm really impressed with Charlie Taylor. It's one of those where, when teams are down the bottom, you won't want to hear this, Ben, but when teams are down the bottom, you start to go, who could get a Prem move? And I look at Charlie Taylor, and I think he's one of those. Matthew Lawson on the right-hand side. I thought Roberts... maybe should have stuck with Roberts. I don't know if he was injured.
Roberts has been really poor.
Has he? I thought he was all right in the Everton game.
Against Everton, every time Richarlison got the ball, I was like, he's gonna score. He's gonna score.
I thought he was okay. But yeah, Norwich were better on the ball in terms of passing through the thirds, and then they had more bodies further up. And you can see by the 2 midfielders there, they were able to kind of make their way through it a little bit with a bit more technical guile than Burnley were able to. And then it meant that Pookie and the guys up top, what's his name? Kieran Dowell, that's it. Kieran Dowell was able to get involved as well, and Rashika with his dribbling ability. But ultimately, mate, it's not even about this game. I think it's about the fixtures to come, because I bet, from what I've heard from you in these first couple of sentences, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of guy?
I don't know.
I think you're half empty.
Our midfield is the worst midfield in this league, right? Ashley Westwood would not start for any team in that championship.
But how many years could you have said that for? In terms of
at least the last three.
Yeah, because I think that's the confusing thing with Burnley a lot of the time, and that's why they get patronised. Is in terms of names, the names aren't often there, but the sum of the parts is strong enough. So broadly speaking, then with these games that are coming, because I keep looking at the games that you've got left, and every single one of them are winnable games. They're not easy games, but they're winnable games for you. You could still win 4 of these games, no?
Well, I would have. If you'd asked me Wednesday, I would have said yeah. But I mean, we've played Norwich twice this season. We've not scored against them. So
I think that was a psychological thing. I think there's a problem there where every game Burnley play, the team are kind of coming at you, and then you're sort of showing them, if that makes sense. So I remember, I used to always use Fulham as an example. People would always go to Fulham when they used to stay in the division year after year. People would go to Fulham and go, "Oh, it's Fulham. Oh, this will be easy enough," and then they get slapped in the face with professionalism because you have a team that behaves that way. But I think when you've got to go and win the game, and I know you've got to go and win these games, but you'll also be playing teams that I think will want to have a go at you. I think you've got almost a better opportunity. If you think of how Everton played against you guys, they were so sort of gung-ho, and I don't think they truly respected you. They thought they'd be all right. But actually, I think you totally deserve that victory. And I actually still think there's something to be played for here. How do you feel about your chances in terms of staying up?
Well, yesterday, I lost my head a bit after the game. I mean, there were some rash tweets from me. Very rash.
All right, Ben, what happened? Let's have a look. Go on. I
tweeted Dyche Out for the first time ever.
Did you?
Yeah, for the first time ever, I tweeted Dyche Out.
Shame on you. I've got yours here, I've got your Twitter here. Oh my God! Right, let's shame you. See, this is what I mean. You got to be. When you say stuff, guys, you got to be ready to deal with it. Okay. So where is it? Oh, you're going to be on this. We know that. Oh my days, I'm glad our fans aren't this embarrassing as him, but Burnley relegation party. Okay, that wasn't you. Or was that you? Where's this Dyche Out? Did you leave it there or did you delete?
I think they're still there if you go back a bit.
Get rid of Dyche and bring Carlos in. I'm on my knees.
I would take Carlos Cobra on, to be fair.
What, for now to the end of the season?
No, at the end of the season.
Okay. Dyche Out. Isn't that sacrilege? Can't be Dyche Out, can
I
you?
love what he's done, and I'd say the fan base is very split at the minute. I'd say it's 60-40 between in and out.
Really?
I run the Talk BFC account on Instagram. It's got like 9,000 followers, and I put a post out saying, "Are you dashing or out?" And I'd say it's 60-40.
Wow. What, Ben? You don't mess about, do you? Look at this. Dumb and Dumber. Brownhill and Westwood. Not a fan.
Oh, they were really poor. They were really poor.
No, you're supposed to be supporting your team here, Ben.
I do really like Brownhill, and but that free kick
Obviously
me,
not.
Why he took that free kick for me is beyond me.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the corner free kick against Leeds. It was from like even further out, but the exact same like line, and he scored an absolute screamer against Leeds.
So come on, I'm trying to bring some positive. I'm trying to give you a chance here, mate. Look at these. I'm showing you these games. You know, yes, you're 4 points off, but you got the same games as Everton right now. Okay, how many points will you finish on?
I mean, before the Everton game, I said we get 12. Before the Norwich game, I said we get 12.
Do you stand? So what's that? That's 3 less. You thought you'd beat Norwich, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I said we'd beat Southampton at home, beat Norwich away, and we beat Watford away.
Right. So you thought you'd be on 36. Now you're saying you'll be on 33.
I'd say 31, 32.
So you're going down.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
You see,
that? Is that avoidable? Has that been
I
avoidable?
don't think it's the worst thing in the world because I don't know if you know, but we got 10 players out of contract at the end of the season.
Right. No, I didn't.
So, I mean, we need a massive rebuild, and I think it'd be easier to rebuild in the Championship.
I disagree with things like that. You know, when people go, maybe it's best if we go down. Mate, you're a Burnley fan, you know. You don't just go back up. I mean, you did.
See, but we are in £60 million debt as well from the new leverage ownership as well. So we are relying on the Premier League money. I know we get, 3 years of Premier League pay when we go down still, but we need to stay up really. But I don't think we will.
Okay, bud. All right, mate. Well, hey, good luck. Okay, keep your chin up.
Worries.
Less of these Dumb and Dumber tweets, all right? All right, bud. Thanks for speaking to me, mate. Appreciate it, Ben. All the best, mate. All the best. Right, so he thinks Burnley are down. That means Everton stay up. So let's talk to Max. Max, make your way in here. Let's talk about Everton. You've got an absolute belter of a victory. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and probably the most important one is to hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go bloody live, as Ben would say. Sorry, Ben. Okay. So Everton, Man United. Wellity. What a bloody result. Max, are you there? Have you muted yourself? Sounded like you come in, but maybe you've come back out. He's there. He's unmuted now. And there he is. What a moment.
1, I'm really nervous because I've never done this before. And 2, I'm absolutely buzzing.
Good. Right, well, let's concentrate on the buzzing. Positivity, positivity after a solid victory, Max. So don't worry, mate. I'm here. You're safe. And if you're not enjoying it anymore, you feel free to leave. But I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's talk about this game then, mate. I imagine you watched the game. What were you thinking going into the Man United game? Did you think you'd get anything? Because I did a video after the Burnley game, and I sort of ripped into them. And I would imagine Everton fans were going into that game feeling dread more than anything.
Well, I thought probably being optimistic a point, but I didn't think we were winning it. And I was surprised.
Yes. Did really well in the game. Let's have a look at what was important here. When I spoke about the game, the Burnley game, the big thing for me was the lineup for them, and it was so young for Everton. It was so young. I think it was 24 years old was the average age, which was just too young when in a relegation fight away from home against Burnley. Like, you just don't need that. What I thought was everything in this game was the players that came in. Now, look, I'm not saying Michael Keane's had a good season. He hasn't. I'm not saying Seamus Coleman's had a good season. He hasn't. I'm not saying Delph has ever played a game. He hasn't. But being able to bring in those 3 players in a game like this, I thought was absolutely huge, just to have that bit of experience. Were you, in terms of Delph, were you impressed with him coming in?
Well, Delph and me and Delph and most of the Everton fan base, we don't really have a good relationship. But I mean, I think he's obviously played for a Man City team. He's won, I think, lots of Premier Leagues.
Yes, he has.
Cups. I think also he can sit in the back, just between the back four, and just see. We saw like Mikalenko bombing up the wing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
thought also when he would drop back into that place, covering like the fullbacks and even the centre backs when maybe Godfrey would do like a run. So I thought having him there would be good, and it was. I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah, well said, mate. Yeah, absolutely. That was, I think, crucial for them. So what Everton did really well here, and you can see it with a lot of teams. Actually, Leeds, if we ever look at Leeds, maybe we'll do that in the fallout in a while, but maybe in the previous episodes we've spoken about it as well. Sometimes you need a bit of a box. You need a bit of a box just to be compact in that in that sort of defence midfield, and having that double pivot can safeguard you a lot. And especially when crosses come in, if the headers aren't brilliant, and actually the headers were really good in terms of getting the ball away, you've got people to sort of clean it up. And Delph is very good at that. I really like him in that position. Alan, we know, is really, really good at that as well. So to have those two there was really important. And actually, the midfield three, you've got Iwobi here, who, in terms of the average position, that has him a lot higher up than maybe he was, because ultimately he was absolutely everywhere in this game. The pressures that he put forward were amazing. He made 8 successful pressures in this match. Only Alan, who made 12, made more. And in terms of recoveries, Delph made 12 recoveries, really, really important. In terms of a midfield three, mate, that they've been looking to sort out, I think there might be something in this one, because you've got the experience to kind of get through a game, to manage the game. You've got the energy of, and then you've got the energy of Alan and of Iwobi. So often you've played this sort of two and it's just not worked at all. And I think someone just sitting there digging a hole and then Alan being out and being combative, I think gives you a much better chance, especially with exactly what you said there. Mikalenko being able to go get a bit further forward. And now that Calvert-Lewin is back as well, you've got two players that, we talk about different teams. We spoke about Real Madrid earlier in this video. Sometimes 2 players is enough, Kane and Son, Benzema and Vinicius Jr. I'm not totally putting them in that same realm, but to have someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison to be able to sort of go and do things, I think is good for Everton. What I would say, mate, is that Man United were rubbish. They were absolutely rubbish. We're going to talk to a Man United fan in just a second. But do you feel like the away form has still been absolutely woeful, hasn't it?
I don't think we started on the away form. I don't think we'll pick up a single point away from home. I think our home form will keep us up.
Yeah, I also think the way that Lampard has been talking, he's kind of talking about it a little bit too much and going, well, let's forget about the away form because we're useless, but don't worry, we've got the home form and that's going to save us. And I think that stat that we saw, which was that Everton ran a total of 10k more than Man United, is one, damning on Man United, but secondly, I think there's a lot to be said there about the crowd, because that Everton crowd, that made a huge difference. I think it's a young team as much as anything. I don't think they're bad guys, but I just think they're young and a little bit flimsy. But when they're sort of motivated and full of confidence and full of motivation and adrenaline, you saw it. They'll run and run and run. And when it's kind of about stopping the opposition, which I think is all that matters at this moment in time, now that you've got a bit of quality up top. I'm not saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin's playing well, but he certainly offers more than someone like Rondon. I think it gives you a hell of a chance. I still think Burnley aren't out of it, as I said. And I think we look at your games.
We can't be too like. I've seen Everton fans saying we're out of it. I think we'll be safe. I don't think we're 100% safe yet, because we still have to go to Anfield. We still have to go to the Emirates, and I can't see us getting anything out of there. We still got to go to King Power.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the thing. I'm looking at these fixtures more and more, and when you get to this silly part of the season, you can just spin it either way. Leicester City are in good form. Liverpool, that is a stinker of a game for you. Chelsea, that's a nightmare. You got Leicester twice. Watford, look, it's away from home, which is not ideal for you guys. Maybe Watford will be finished by then. That might help. Brentford, you'll hope they're on the beach, but they might actually just play with a new freedom, which I think we've definitely seen. Palace, they might be in a place where I don't know how those works with the FA Cup dates, and Arsenal might be going for top 4. So there's still a lot to be done, but a victory against Man United is a good start, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the players, like especially Iwobi. Like
Yeah.
people that a lot of our fan base doubted him, like, but like in the last few weeks he's been like making a hell of a ton of effort, and I think that's really helped us. Him stepping in, obviously, Gray has been injured. We've had a hell of a lot of injuries as well. Townsend got injured against Palace in the cup.
Yeah.
So I mean, Iwobi and the other one is Gordon. I mean, I absolutely love the guy. Like, I mean, he gives so much effort and desire, and he's born a toffee, and you just need that like
Yeah.
character in your team.
He's been huge for you guys. But I think with Gordon, it's one of those where if he's the best player by a long way, that's a problem. I always think like, who's your best player and why? You know, and he shouldn't be the best player right now. And there's a myriad of problems for that. But 28 points. How many points will you finish up on?
Well, I haven't done the calculations, but I think we'll beat Brentford at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll beat Crystal Palace at home. And I think we'll beat Leicester at home. And I think we'll away to Watford, maybe a draw.
Okay, so that's 38 points. So if you were able to get 3 wins and a draw, then you're absolutely fine, aren't you? Especially when apparently Burnley are going to get 31, 33 points. So it's definitely in your favour, and that was huge. I would reiterate that I think the fans made a massive difference in terms of dragging the confidence of those players and forgetting about, failing to lose. Avoiding failure and more going out and trying and get the victory. Mate, Max, good man. Can we get lots of claps, emojis in the chat? Well done, Max. I know it's not easy, mate. Well done. Well spoken. Very articulate. Good job, bud. Good job. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Well done, mate. Right. Everton played Man United. I want to talk to a Man United fan. Well done, Max. Good work, mate. Putting yourself in a situation that didn't feel comfortable and you smashed it, mate. Great job. Pope. Join me, Pope. Look at all those claps, Max, for you, mate. There you go. That's it. This is the community I know. Pope, are you there, mate? You unmuted. You are. Hello, mate. So let's talk about Man United. This is the call I'm probably most interested in because, I mean, it's an absolute disaster of season, first and foremost. 7th in the league at the moment. The one thing I did want to, just to give that little bit of analysis on that game, actually, is what I thought was... Oh, hang on. It's going to take me a second to find it. As much as Everton were good, Man United were just played into Everton's hands, like completely. And I don't know what Rangnick's doing here. I nearly titled this, Rangnick has given up. And then I changed it because maybe he hasn't. But I feel like in terms of there are so many videos about Rangnick's here now, everything's going to be fine. A few of them are on my channel. I couldn't see how he would fail because you could see exactly what he wanted to do, right? But this lineup and the changes that were made in this game, you know, we talk about the 2 players for Everton in Delph and Allen who sort of sat there. For Man United, there was so much space that they could have exploited. You've got Seamus Coleman who's, you know, you can get at him. He's get-atable, if that's even a thing. But for Man United... What's interesting here, right, is first of all, this setup, right? But once Fred got injured, which one's Fred? I always forget which number he is. He's 18, isn't he? No, he's not. That's Fernandez. What is he? 17.
17.
So yeah, that's why his average position is really low. So his average position was really low there because he came off after 35 minutes, didn't he? So if we put the substitutions on, he put Mata on and Pogba's on. And so what you can see now... So if you're the opposition, you're playing a double pivot, and then your team takes off the one player that drives beyond someone like Ronaldo, and then puts in Juan Mata, who wants it to feet, Bruno Fernandes, who wants it to feet, Pogba, who wants it to feet. It's like, I just don't get it, and it feels like, I don't want to say lazy. I was just a bit baffled by it. Can you understand what Rangnick's trying to do now? Because I think the one thing we did know is that he plays 4-2-2-2. This is the way that they're going to play. They're going to get in shape. It's going to be about the fullbacks. It's going to be about those, you know, that 4-2-2-2. And that's not happened whatsoever. He's completely given up on that. Why is that the right thing for him to do? And how do you feel about Rangnick?
We gave up ages ago with that 4-2-2-2.
Yes.
I don't think we're doing that anymore. We gave up in January, I think. It didn't work, and then we kind of gave up. We went back to the 4-2-3-1. The issue would when you bring Fred off and you bring, was it Pogba that he brought on? I think it was Pogba that he brought on. I don't think there were any better options. I mean, McTominay's injured. Matic is already on the pitch. This would be a great game for Donny van de Beek. This would genuinely probably would have been Donny van de Beek's chance. However, there was really no one else to bring on. United's midfield is this thin, is this paper thin that...
What about Lingard?
I think he's competing with Fernandes. He simply cannot do the defensive responsibility. So Rangnick is really stuck in a position where you can't exactly put Mata on either. He's not that kind of player. You can't put Lingard on, who's not that Fred kind of player. The closest one is Pogba at the end of the day.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
fair. It's a good point, that, because actually, and you're right. Sorry, it was Pogba, not Mata, but he did put Mata on for Matic a little bit later on. Took Rashford off, who was one of the few bright spots in terms of creating something. Pickford a couple of saves from him, and brought on Elanga, which I understand as a straight swap, but it's just I just don't understand what he's trying to do, and it's amazing that the squad's got worse and worse and worse. And they're playing in the exact same formation, really, that they were playing in before. Also, this over-reliance on going down the left-hand side, I mean, you can see it here. It's a huge problem. I don't think it's been more messy than it's ever been at Man United. Even previously, you were like, okay, maybe the quality's not there, but you've got so much dead wood. I've never seen anything like it.
I actually disagree. I don't think there's that much dead wood. Like, I think
really,
yeah. I'm gonna be really optimistic. I think, and I'm pretty sure the comments are gonna come after me.
No, I like this. They won't. Go on.
I genuinely think that if they haven't given up, there would probably be much less dead wood.
I guess so. Here's my question back for that would be. So when we're talking dead wood, I'm not saying not Premier League players. I'm saying players that you could go and do something properly with. Like, your expectations are to fight for titles, right? So in that team, who there is good enough to be in a title-winning team in 4 years' time?
Rashford. Sancho.
Yeah. Sure. Let's be kind. If we're being really kind.
Bruno, definitely.
I think, look, I'll give you, and people won't like this, but I think Rashford's just in bad form. Fernandes, I'll give you that. Sancho, I'll give you that. Fred, Fred, I'm not having it. Like, I like him. I think he offers something, but I don't think you win a champ. You don't win the league with Fred.
No. When he's a squad player, when Fred and McTominay are squad players, we'll win the league. De Gea is definitely one. Varane is probably one as well. I think Varane can probably still do it in 4 years' time. I think.
Okay.
That one's a little bit of optimistic.
Yeah, but Wan-Bissaka, no. I don't think in this discussion though, we're not talking about squad players. He's not a starter. Ronaldo would be too old. Matic too old. Maguire probably not good enough. In a back four. Telles not good enough. Luke Shaw, maybe Luke Shaw.
I said 4 players: Rashford, Sancho, Bruno, and De Gea. Those are the 4. And I think De Gea it just creeps in.
Yeah.
Creeps in. I feel like his goalkeepers rush that go for that long.
And I just wonder if I'm missing anyone on the bench. Elanga, it's still all potential, isn't it? Pogba's gone. No one on that bench. Delo I like at times, but the whole team is so geared towards going down that left hand side. We don't even know how good he is yet, do we?
The issue is that first, Elanga's ceiling I do not feel is that high. I do not feel it's nearly as high as people think.
Yeah, you got to be careful with new players because there's that adrenaline, isn't there? When you come, you go, "Oh, I'm a professional footballer," and you're just playing. We've seen that with so many people.
It's like Januzaj. I feel like this could be like Januzaj. But who knows? Time will tell. I think, so it's those 4 players. With Rangnick, I genuinely do not think you judge him based on these 6 months. because I've looked on different places like Reddit, YouTube, other places as well, and there are people that say like, why don't you question Ranić? Why I don't? Some people don't want Ranić to have anything to do with the football club. For me, I feel like Ranić isn't actually here to coach. This is not what we judge him on. We judge him on the next 2 years instead. This is not where we judge Ranić, so we have to be patient. We definitely phoned in the league this year. We're on the beach already, even though I will hold out hope for top four.
Yeah.
We do. I will hold on hope for that, but I do feel like we're on the beach. And if any, in any case, anyways, we can always be optimistic because there will be something new that comes in, whether it be Erik ten Hag, whether it be Mauricio Pochettino. I don't know. Even if it was Steven Allison, I would still be optimistic. So,
well, we love Steven.
Like, yeah. So, there's definitely things to be positive about. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. Like, we're just in a really, really bad moment. Like, when Solskjaer left, I felt like the entire club was in mourning.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I genuinely. Yeah. So, like, I think that's where we pwned in the league.
Yeah, I don't think I think Ralph Rangnick deserves some critique on this, because what you would want from him is to go, even if it's would really hurt for a while, you go, this is the way we're going to play, and we're probably going to play this way for the rest of the season, and I'm going to see what you're trying to do. I can't see what he's trying to do, and when you talk about this recruitment, it's got nothing to do with Ralph Rangnick. We're looking at 5 players that are good enough we believe, to be in a championship side. In an entire squad, that's a problem. That is a problem. Which, I mean, look, it's Man United, so you can get around it, fortunately. But it's interesting, isn't it? You know, all that problem with Solskjaer, it's not got better, has it?
I don't think Solskjaer was. I think it was just that people like. I think the players are the problem. I don't think Solskjaer was the problem. I think he had to be sacked at the end of the day because we probably needed a new face, and he was probably that was probably one of the last ways we could get these players to do it again. And I know we're gonna try this again, but like I feel like that was one of the closer to last resorts in how are we gonna get these players to at least try to perform again? Would be the new manager bounce.
My last question for you, babe, is, what do you think Ralph Rangnick's trying to do? When you watch Man United, do you know what he's trying to do?
I feel like he's trying to keep some continuity from Solskjaer's reign. I believe he's trying to implement a bit more of a pressing system, some stronger pressing than Solskjaer did. But at the same time, I also believe he's doing this. He's giving the players a little bit more freedom to keep an eye on how he would advise whoever's upstairs next year to do things. I feel like this is essentially your tryout if you want to stay in the club. Langa's taken it, Sancho's taken it, Ronaldo is Ronaldo, and we can talk about the Ronaldo incident if we want to.
I can't be asked. Do you know, part of me is like, I know he's obviously clearly annoyed. Like, I obviously shouldn't do it, obviously, but I'm like, you see it on Twitter, it's like, this lad's in shock. And I'm, well, I mean, just get over it. You know what I mean?
It feels overblown, but at the same time,
it was always going to be, isn't it?
I saw it and I was like, I saw the video and I was like, wait, when did he do it? And I saw it was like the first instant of the video. He just caught it there. So I was like, you know what? That could imply something. And there's place in that. So I just feel like he's apologized, and I'm always for giving people like second chances.
Yeah, man.
Like I feel like the whole cancel culture thing is not.
Why has he done it? He's done it because he's frustrated. Like, I'm sure he can buy the lad a new phone. He apologised as well. Let's move on. All right, mate. Thank you so much, mate. Lovely to chat to you. Hopefully, I get to talk to you again. And good luck with the rest of the season. Good man. All right, bud.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Let me know in the comments, by the way, because someone's just said there, really good questions. If you made it top 4, would it be any different? In terms of how many more players in that squad would you get in? Let me know in the comments, because we probably can't go through it with the chat. Arsenal. Let's talk Arsenal. Who we got? Woodley. In you get, son. Enter me. Enter me, Woodley. Enter me. Oh, wrong one. Right, Arsenal have they've done a QPR, haven't they? They've done a QPR. Woodley, you there, mate?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Oh dear. Well, this is what we were worried about, weren't we? We were worried about injuries, and we thought, could you deal with it? What did you think about the Brighton game, and how are you feeling about Arsenal? Full stop.
The Brighton game was. It wasn't as bad as the Palace game, I don't think. I thought, credit to Brighton, their 2 goals were exceptional. Like, the second goal, I genuinely thought I was watching prime Barca. That was
yeah, it was crazy. It was absolute little flick. Jonathan Pearson, his commentary was like, did he mean that? I was like, yeah, of course he meant a little flick.
Yeah, of course he meant it.
Yeah. The XG was 1.98 to you guys, 0.77 to the opposition. 20 shots, only 4 shots on target. The big one for me, I thought that the average position really highlighted it, was that when you, like, Cedric is fine, okay, he's Cedric, but not the 2 players that you've lost, and in particular in fullback positions, and Tommy Asty's not been playing, has he, either? But normally Tierney would be up here and Saka would be much further forward, and without any quality and width from the fullbacks, you're going to struggle to create as much. You're going to struggle to have that width. You know, if we think about how Arteta wants to play how Man City want to play, really, doesn't he? And he wants to have a lot of players in those 5 spaces along the way. Lacazette dropping a little bit deeper, Odegaard, that player, and then Tierney. And you're missing that. You miss that massively when he's not in the team. You can just see the difference. You've got an okay starting 11 there, mate, haven't you? But after that, it's it's very difficult.
It is, yeah. And when you put Tavares in.
Well, why didn't he play Tavares? Because he's
not good enough.
But is he not? Maybe he's not good enough long term. But surely he's better than Xhaka there.
I disagree.
Really?
I do.
But Xhaka's not gonna get down the line. He's not gonna offer any width. He's got no.
He's not.
Yeah, very different players.
That's where Cedric needs to, I think, push on more, because he knows he's got that cover on the left-hand side for Xhaka.
Yep.
And then you think of Tavares' the last 2 games, he's been dragged off.
Well, let's talk about that, mate. Let's talk about that, because with Arteta, and I like Arteta, but is there something in Arteta where has he got the ability to put his arm around a player? Because Tavares, taking him off in the Forest game after 35 minutes, the Palace game as well, I think it was. That's really damaging to a player. Is it worth it?
I think that's one of the flaws of his management. Yeah, and we've seen it. You look at I'm sure there was more to it with the Aubameyang situation, and it happened a couple of times. But even other players like Willian, I think he just needed he wasn't the best signing, but an arm around his shoulder, he may have performed a little bit better. I think he needs to work on his personal managerial skills, because I don't think anyone can turn around and say he's not a good tactical manager. I think we're seeing now, like the way he wants to play, we're seeing that. But if he can improve on how he deals with the players, how he looks after them, Tavares at his age, he shouldn't be getting dragged off at half time. I think you need to stick it out to the 60th minute. I don't think it would have damaged him if we, or damaged the team. I think it probably would have been the same result if he'd kept him on to the 60th minute, then switched it around later on. So
I totally agree. And I guess you with that you can maybe that you can see it. Martinez can go a little bit further forward when Xhaka's just sitting there and behind him. But I just think you've got to be, when it's Willian, he's 32, when it's Aubameyang, he's 30, whatever he is, when it's Ozil, he's older. Like, they should know better and they should be better because they're experienced players. But with these younger lads, you've got to be careful. And I just think, I'm not sure he needs to certainly work on that. It's like, so what I was thinking about is, for me, it's like in poker, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not going to bet, but I don't know how to sort of slow play it. Like, I don't think he knows how to slow play, like, people. He goes, well, this isn't working, so get him off. It's like he's putting all his chips in, and it's just like, I'm not sure that could be detrimental along the way, or ultimately he's being ruthless. He's not good enough, and he has to go. But I just, I'm not sure it's helpful in terms of top 4, mate. Any chance? Where are you at?
Yeah, I I think as a fan base, we overreact, but I think there's a big chance if you look at the fixtures. So you look okay. Let's be realistic. It's a top fight between Tottenham and Arsenal, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And you look at Tottenham's fixtures and you say, okay, well, their big fixture, I guess, would be Liverpool, and ours is Chelsea, and then it's the North London derby. I say Liverpool is a heck of a lot harder to win than Chelsea. No, obviously, no disrespect to Chelsea at all, but I think they can have their off day. So we're in with a shout. What we need to do is this is time to back the team, and back the manager, and I think we're still in with a shot. You know, we can go to Southampton. It's not the ideal time to play Southampton after a 6-0 drubbing at Chelsea, but I think we're in with a shout. I think Tottenham will drop points. I think we probably will drop points, but I think the big game will be North London derby, and I think we'll win
it's
it.
going to be amazing. I think the killer here is you would have gone right. These three, let's get 9 points, and then these three, we'll see what we get, because these three are tough. Now you've dropped 6 points there. You need to win. You need to win and draw. If you sort of win one, lost one, drew one out of those three, you'd maybe take it, wouldn't you? But you've got to beat. Got to beat Southampton. You've got to beat Southampton. There's no excuse. Yeah. And that's when it will kick off, won't it? If you don't win that one, massively.
I think so. Yeah, and I don't think. I don't think it's in the summer they'll sack Arteta. I don't think that will happen. I think they'll trust with it and stick with it, because it has improved.
Oh, definitely improved. And like I was saying to Pope, it's about, can I see what you're trying to do? I can see what he's trying to do. Definitely. He just he just needs to be kind of cute with it at times, and he needs a deeper squad. We need
a bit of investment still. I know we spent 150 odd million in the summer, but we need the same again, because you look at Man U and that's where we were. We had Deadwood, we had a lot of players aging. We needed to refresh the squad, and we have. This is the first season that this team really have played together, and it's young. Yeah. And to make top four, I think would be an overachievement, to be honest. Yeah. If we'd have said that at the start of the season, everyone was disregarding us. Really, we make top four, and it's an overachievement. So next year, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Next year, we stick again, and I reckon we will get top four definitely next season.
I think next year you're going to have you would expect you to have European football, so that will be another challenge for you. But I think at the start of the season, if you'd got fifth, people would have gone, okay, that's not too bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think you're right. We've got some good super chats here. I just want to hear what you got to say about it, Woodley. So this one's about Man United, so I'll just read it out. Aaron, thank you, mate, for this. There's a general feeling that the players get a clean slate next season under a new manager, but some players have done too much damage already. Harry Maguire. I'll tell you now, if you don't start well next year, and I think you might start well with a new manager, but if you don't, the same lines will be coming out again. I'll be honest. It's very difficult to give people a clean slate. You would imagine, especially with a fan base that big. Maestro D, I understand Arteta's decision on the Brighton match, but he has to trust his full squad of 19 players that he decided to go with for 6 months. Very good point. Yeah. What do you think about that, Woody? Do you agree?
No, yeah, I do agree, but I don't think you can trust some of those players right now. And that's his issue. Like we spoke about it, that he needs to start trusting them. But no, I do kind of agree. Yeah,
you then miss out on skill sets. So Tavares got a lesser skill set as an overall pro, but Xhaka's got no legs. so you're getting out of that place. Josh with a very generous super chat. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you. The biggest issue of Xhaka as a left back is that he should be in midfield with the absence of Partey. A midfield of Lokonga, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe is hideously unbalanced. A recipe for disaster. What do you think, Woodley?
Yeah, we do miss Xhaka. I saw it in the Brighton game. We missed that steal. We missed that understanding of how to play midfield. When you've got Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Lokonga, you've got three players that actually would rather be pushing forward a bit more and no one to sit and hold the defence, which is what Xhaka has been decent at this season. So yeah, I agree with that as well.
Okay, Willie, mate, thank you very much. I said Arsenal would get top four, so I'll be happy if they do. Because it means I look good. It means I look good, and that's all we want. Mate, best of luck. Have a great week, and we'll chat again soon, mate. Amazing, good call. Okay, and I just want to talk to a Liverpool fan because I think the Liverpool Man City thing. Yesterday I did a video and I was intrigued. People Liverpool fans got a bit salty, and I might wind up Liverpool fans a little bit more here, but I do think it's worth discuss. I'm intrigued to discuss it. Okay, and actually I had a really good chat with Hugh Woozencroft on ESPN just earlier, and he had a different angle on Man City, which I thought was really good actually. But Tebe, Tebe, you there, mate? Oh, Ali's popped in instead. Okay, Ali, that.
Yeah, I've been summoned by the Queen.
You've been summoned, have you? Lovely, amazing.
Tebe or Tiber.
All right, he
has bottled it.
He's bottled it. So. Okay, all right, can be done. It can be done. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll talk to you then. And you probably know what I'm going to get at. So the Liverpool thing, the game yesterday. So I'm going to say something, and I'm intrigued to know what you think. I walk away from that Liverpool Man City game. You're not gonna like this. And whoever wins the title now, I would still suggest that Man City are the better team. Based on that game.
You're probably right.
And I felt like yesterday was a moment where, for the first time, it's been like these two like heavyweights going punch for punch, and they did, and it was amazing. And there was a few people going, oh, I thought the level was poor. The level looked poor because it was being played at this unbelievable tempo, and it was two teams just bloody going at it, and it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
But I just watched it and I just thought, wow. And when I said wow, and that's why I got a few comments, people which shut up about Man City. I just was so impressed by Man City, and for the first time I thought, oh, okay, after all of this, Man City are the better team. What do you think to that?
I would tend to agree with that, to be honest.
Oh, wow. So you're one of the good ones, then.
Thank you.
Although actually, I'm probably wrong in saying that, because you should be able to go, no, we're the best team in the league. But I walked away feeling that way.
There's an argument for either case, but I only caught the second half yesterday. Just watched the first half this morning. Obviously, the result, having known the result, spoils it a little bit. But it also makes you watch it from a more neutral point of view. So I was able to kind of analyze what was going on, rather than just watching nervously as a fan. Nervously.
What would you have preferred? You preferred to just watch it in the moment, right?
No, this game I actively didn't want to watch it, and I was lucky enough that I had work, so it fell that like the end of work was during the first half, and then I was able to catch the second half because I can't stop myself from watching it anyway. But this is the only Liverpool Man City game I would say in that era of those two dominating that I haven't looked forward to. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I thought we might actually get just smashed.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's what I was when I was looking at it, and I looked at the XG was like this. They were about the same, and I was like, "How is it the same?" And you've got more big chances. For someone, I talk about, I obviously talk about stats all the time and refer to them and go, "Well, this means this." I was just looked at it. I was like, "What? Did I miss something?"
I don't know how either, because I've watched the game. Like I watched the first half again. They were definitely the team that had the better chances. Like it looked like it anyway.
Does anyone in the chat? Sorry, Ali, hang on a sec.
You go ahead.
Does anyone in the chat think that Liverpool were the better team and deserved anything but a defeat?
That would be interesting. I want to have a read.
I'm intrigued. And then my question after that would be, so how would you feel winning the league, but probably admitting to the fact that Man City are better? Do you get you and care less?
That I couldn't care less. You're right. The other thing is, well, first of all, the obvious thing is you get more points over the season. You are just like the better team, generally speaking. Both games were a draw. Both games were actually quite balanced. Man City should have won yesterday. We should have had 2 red cards. Mahrez should have scored at the end. But on the balance of the season as well, there's been, for both sides, there's been cases where unnecessary points were dropped. Crystal Palace at City winning 2-0. Us dropping points from winning positions all the time. I think we dropped 10 from winning positions this season. And it actually, if we don't win the league, that will be what hurt us. Brentford and Brighton in specifically.
Yeah.
3-3 and 2-2. Those were continue to be annoying results given the current state of the table. 1 point difference. That's 4 points dropped from such a comfortable position. Yeah, but if we win the league, I just don't care who.
Do you know what? As you're chatting there, I was just thinking, and the truth is whoever gets the most points is the best team. And I sort of, that's what I mean. I loved watching that game. So I'd love that as a Champions League final, by the way. I would just love to see it.
Oh, I would absolutely love it. I think Real Madrid win the Champions League final. But this Champions League final would be the highest quality.
Do you know what it makes? You know when they keep talking, Carragher and all those guys keep talking about rivalries, and how, like, obviously there's other rivalries that have had more like needle in them. This is Larry Bird. I've been watching the Lakers thing, the little documentary thing, and this is Bird Magic Johnson, where they're both just the top, and it's a rivalry based on quality more than anything else. That's why I don't think there's a game I'm more excited, because when people started talking about Barcelona, Real Madrid, and that Barcelona, Real Madrid, that was Jose Mourinho's stunk out games. This is two teams going at it,
and it's based on historic, political rivalry and sporting rivalry. Those were the two highest quality teams, of course. So. It's based also on like politics and history and things like that. This reminds me of the Nadal Federer rivalry.
Yes, great shout.
This is like, these are the two dominant teams in like maybe apart from Real Madrid, the world. And just 22 of the top
mad.
elite
So
professional footballers of all time going at it.
So final question to the chat, to the comments. So answer this for me. How do you feel about Man City?
How do I feel about Man City?
And Man City fans, how do you feel about Liverpool? Let me know in the comments.
Top quality side. Not a fan of how they were built, but that's, let's talk about football.
Do you hate them?
Yes, but not for footballing reasons.
Okay.
But in terms of the squad, no, I mean, there's a difference between PSG and Man City in that some utilize the money well. It's both have like unlimited resource, but one utilize it well, build a system, recruit well. The other just throw enough money at the wall, something will stick eventually.
I get what you're saying with that, but I'm actually starting to change on that a little bit, because like the way Guardiola tweaks it at times. And a lot of those players have been there for a long time now.
Yeah,
and they play like unbelievable football. Like Man United, we just spoken about them. They spent a lot of money and have got 4 players that we think could be in a championship winning side. So I don't think I'm starting to think, maybe it's not as simple as that. But I get what you're saying. I
think football isn't simple as we think it is. In the just the analysis of the game after the fact, actually, this is something I want to mention as well. Like, Fabinho struggled big time. Should have had a red card for 2 yellows. The commentary on Twitter and the general reaction after the game was, Fabinho just isn't as good as a tackler anymore. That's a lot of comments I've seen saying that. It's let's stop the short-termism of analysis here. Let's just appreciate the game yesterday for what it was and realize as you mentioned yesterday in the live, the context of this is entirely different from any other Premier League game. Because these are two different, Liverpool are playing a different species, as you said. So
and do you know what? The most amazing thing about it, and we'll finish with this, is neither team subsides. Normally, there's one team that go, oh well, hang on, we're better than them, so we'll have. It's like Football Manager, where you have players on attacking roles or players on defensive roles. both teams keep the exact same roles. Whereas Atletico Madrid, I know they play defensively generally, but they'll go to a 5-5-0. Or Man United won't play strikers, or whoever you'll play, or Chelsea would look to be compact and hurt on the counter-attack. These two teams, there's so few games where the best teams just go at each other. And that's why the game is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And that's why we won it as the Champions League final. Ali, thank you, mate. Well done for stepping in. Good job.
Welcome.
Absolute hero. You know I love you to bits. And Ali did amazing tactical analysis for the title race video as well. So let me say thank you on air for that, mate. Good man.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, Jim. Anytime.
Good man. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Something a bit different. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I think we're nearly at 170,000 subscribers. You could be the lucky person. I don't know what you get. Nothing. But it would be nice to get to 170,000. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, get involved in the comments, and let me know if you like this, and we'll do it again. Thanks a lot, guys.